Take a BMW 7 Series, then add a twin-turbo 3-litre petrol straight 6 and a pokey electric motor. Give this hybrid blend the ability to run on silent electric-only power at low speeds, then add a more driver-focused setup than any other full-size luxury saloon has yet managed to offer. The result is the rare, covetable and eco-minded BMW Active Hybrid7. BMW wasn't the first to bring hybrid drive to the full-sized boardroom-level luxury saloon segment. Still, its Active Hybrid7 model does claim to have added an extra driving dimension to petrol-electric power in this sector. A car you can sack the chauffeur and enjoy with a green-tinged conscience. It'll certainly be a rare choice on these shores, but it's a car the Bavarian brand has to offer in its major American and Chinese markets, countries not as dominated by diesel as we are in Europe. It's also technology that the company needs to be seen to be providing if it's to match rivals from Mercedes, Jaguar, Audi and Lexus. None of these brands have developed hybrid luxury saloons that major on providing a particularly dynamic driving experience, which is where this Active Hybrid7 model aims to set itself apart, with a high-tech 8-speed auto gearbox you can get the most from via a drive performance control system optimised for petrol-electric motoring. All for a price that's significantly less than some comparable rivals. Sounds promising? Let's check this car out. Here you essentially have the 320 brake horsepower twin power 3-litre straight 6 from the 740i petrol model, mated to a synchronous electric motor and a high performance lithium ion battery to create a combined output of 354 brake horsepower and a torque delivery of 500 Newton meters, good enough to get you from rest to 62 miles an hour in just 5.7 seconds. Of course, a 7 Series diesel can go just as quickly, but one of those can't cruise around town silently for over 2 miles on pure electric power, as this model can. To be honest, I've managed nothing like that 2-mile range in my time with this car, as you have to be incredibly careful with the throttle pedal if the petrol engine is not to thrum almost imperceptibly into life. Show it a hill and the engine will also cut in, and unlike some hybrid cars, there's no EV button that will force this model into electric only mode until the batteries deplete. A rival Lexus LS600H would give you that, but it wouldn't rival this Active Hybrid7 as a driver's machine. Ultimately, if you want hybrid power in this segment and you enjoy yourself at the wheel, then this is where you have to come. Just how involving should a car like this really be to drive? It's a subject fiercely debated, not least within BMW, whose engineers erred on the side of limousine comfort with the previous version of this model, in the process relinquishing the ultimate driving machine honours to rival cars from Jaguar and from Audi. Now, the 5th generation 7 is much more driver orientated, which does mean also that some rivals marginally shade it when it comes to ride and refinement. But the balance BMW has chosen still shouldn't upset those CEOs who prefer to stay in the back and read the FT. Should the current economic climate force them to sack the chauffeur, however, there are plenty of compensations to be had from a seat here up front, even on the kind of twisty country roads where cars like this are usually least at home. Now, some of the credit for this is down to some well-judged chassis tweaks visited upon this improved 5th generation model, and some of it is down to the drive performance control system, which enables you to vary the response of the car based on 5 different modes: Comfort, Comfort Plus, Sport, Sport Plus and Eco Pro. Depending on your choice of mode from the button down here, you'll get a change in steering response, the characteristics of the power steering, engine and throttle response, the thresholds of the stability control system, and the shift points of the automatic gearbox. If you specify the optional integral active steering system for more accurate inputs at the helm, or the optional variable damper control setup, which enables you to match the suspension feel to the mood you're in and the road that you're on, then drive performance control will also tweak those as well. There's also a dynamic stability control system that can be activated by the driver to make it easier in traction mode to pull away on loose surfaces or on snow. In these circumstances, as well as in Sport Plus on the drive performance control system, the stability control thresholds are raised and the DTC dynamic traction control setup is activated. There's nothing particularly groundbreaking about the way this 7 Series looks. At its original 2009 launch, the aesthetics were generally felt to be conservatively similar to those of the previous generation model, and not much has changed in this revised version. In fact, you really have to know your BMWs to tell it apart at all from the original Mark V model. But then the Munich maker reckons that it's all in the detail. The 8mm drop in overall height, the revised front kidney grille with a larger aperture boasting 9 rather than 13 slats, the 3-sectioned lower air intake with its chromed strips, and its optional adaptive LED headlights. Moving to the back, there's a deeper shade of red for the rear light units and extra chrome to set it all off. All done, of course, in the best possible taste. And inside the leather-lined cabin, well, as you'd expect for this kind of money, everything is just beautifully built and has a lovely feel in operation. The only exception being this steering wheel that, though perfectly functional, feels a bit 3 Series. Through it, you glimpse either a conventional set of instruments, as here, or optionally, one of those black panel technology style screens, basically the facsimile of a set of instruments with colour and display variable dependent upon your selection between the various drive performance control modes. The seats have been redesigned, but even so, it's even nicer if you can find a couple of thousand extra for multi-adjustable comfort chairs that I guarantee are even better than those in your front room. And boot space? Well, luggage resides in a beautifully carpeted compartment, but unfortunately the battery pack this Active Hybrid 7 model has to lug about reduces the size of that cargo area from the 500 litres you get in a standard 7 Series model to just 360 litres. Still, at least the batteries don't impinge upon rear seat accommodation. Here, the experience on offer depends largely between your choice between the standard body shape and the long wheelbase version that I have here, that offers an extra 14 centimetres of interior legroom for a presidentially sized space that enables you to stretch out and really enjoy the optional in-car entertainment system. The Active Hybrid 7 model on test here sits in the £66,000 to £70,000 bracket, depending on your choice between standard or long wheelbase body styles. It only looks decent value over the £100,000 you'll need to get yourself into a Lexus LS600H. Order this BMW hybrid with the standard body shape and you're looking at much the same kind of money that you'd need to find for the kind of 740D diesel variant that would match this hybrid model's performance figures. But the Active Hybrid 7's asking price represents a £5,000 premium over the standard 740i model that donates its 320 brake horsepower straight-six petrol engine to this eco-minded package. As for standard equipment, all models get leather upholstery, smart alloy wheels, a 4-zone air conditioning system and the latest iDrive control setup with programmable buttons for easier access to regularly used functions. Now from then on, it's a case of tailoring your car as you would a bespoke tailored suit with an even wider range of BMW connected drive features, not least the professional navigation system. Depending on spec, you might also want your car to park itself, help you see in the dark, dip its own headlamps at night, show you the road signs on the dash as you pass them, and offer you a cruise control setup that automatically speeds you up and slows you down in tune with the surrounding traffic. I also particularly like the clever surround view camera system. Safety-wise, all the usual airbags and electronic assistance features are on offer, including anti-whiplash head restraints and the Dynamic Stability Control Plus system. Bundled up in this package are innovations such as hill start assist, brake drying and pre-tensioning, soft stop and brake fade compensation. Further standard equipment now runs to the Dynamic Safety with Attention Assistance system. If an accident situation is imminent, this will automatically pre-tension seatbelts, close windows and sunroof, and position the driver's seat in the optimum safety position. It'll also brake the car after any impact to try and ensure that you don't hit anything else. This Active Hybrid 7 model returns 41.5 miles to the gallon on the combined cycle and 158 grams per kilometre of CO2. So it's about 8 miles to the gallon and 11 grams per kilometre of CO2 off a comparable 740D diesel variant. But bear in mind, you'll be running on cheaper green pump fuel. Insurance is groups 47 to 48, and all 7 Series models get free 5 years or 60,000 miles of servicing. BMW, of course, didn't really build this Active Hybrid 7 model for European buyers, people more likely to be swayed by the merits of diesel power. But that doesn't mean that such a customer couldn't find this a rewarding choice. Being able to sprint from rest to 62 miles an hour in under 6 seconds in a super luxury saloon capable of over 40 miles to the gallon has a strong appeal, as does being able to cruise around town silently on electric-only power. Ultimately, though, you're going to be buying this car if you really must have the most driver-orientated luxury hybrid saloon. Or, even more simply, the most technologically advanced and arguably most desirable 7 Series that BMW makes. You'll be an unusual customer, of course, but then if you're one of those people, you probably didn't get to where you are in life by taking the usual path. This car's different. If you are too, then you may just like it very much indeed.